Right, so let's discuss the topic of risk management. Now, before we dive into the correct way of doing things and looking at risk management in the correct light, let's have a look at the incorrect way of doing things. Now, majority of these Instagram mentors teach you to calculate risk management and implement risk management using the following formula, all right? So for every $100, you are using a 0.01 lot. For $1,000, 0.1 lot. For $10,000, a 1 lot. Okay, now I honestly have no idea how they arrive at this formula or at this method and approach to risk management, but what I can tell you is it's completely off and it's incorrect. Now, let's quickly look at risk management as a whole before we dive into the correct way of doing things. So risk should always be looked at in terms of a percentage. So looking at the correct way of doing things, risk should be determined as a percentage of equity, all right? So once you have arrived at a dollar value, lot sizes will then vary according to the parameters of a specific trade, all right? So what we mean by that is the following. Let's look at the following example. So if we have an equity balance of $1,000, all right, and your personal risk threshold sits around 5%, all right, that equates to $50. So now once we've done that, we know we are willing, or you are willing to lose $50 on a specific trade taken or specific setup, okay? That is your risk threshold. Now, if we look at the trade parameters, we have a stop loss of 10 pips and a target of 30 pips for argument's sake. So now, once we've got that, we can now determine a lot size. So with that being said, we arrive at a lot size of 0.5 on that $1,000 account, okay? The reason being is because if that trade were to go south and were not to play out and your stop loss were to be hit, you would then take a loss of $50. All right, which then equates to that 5% risk that you were willing to put on. Now, looking at the target, if target were to be reached, you would then net a profit of around $150, which equates to 15%, okay, 15% growth. So if we take that and we compare it to the incorrect way of doing things, all right, using these same parameters, if we have that $1,000 account, now, according to the incorrect formula, you need to use a lot size of 0.1, okay? So with that lot size of 0.1, you are technically risking 1% of your account, which equates to around $10, all right, with that 10 pip stop. And if target were to be reached, you're netting a profit of around $30, which equates to 3% growth, all right? Now, if you compare the two, there is a huge difference in those percentages, all right? So that is how risk management needs to be applied, right? That 0.01 lot per 100 is, I don't know where it comes from, but it's not correct. So adjust the way you implement risk management and you will start seeing, significant growth in your account, because comparing the two percentages and the returns of the two different formulas, you can see that correct way of doing things yields a much greater return. And then you've implemented a risk, or you've put on risk that you are happy with.